So I made this neck knife a couple of years ago, and I was just making it to increase my skill learning different types of blades. As you can see, the handle is a little too long. It's a pretty heavy knife for a neck knife, so I figured I'll make a new one that's a lot better. Here I made a template out of wood just so I could get a feeling of how the knife would look. I basically cut off an inch from the old one, I added some holes to reduce weight, and I added jimping along the entire length of the spine. So I'm using 1095 high carbon steel. It's an 1/8 inch thick by 1.5 inch in width. If you don't have an angle grinder, you can just use hacksaws for this step. In a couple of my previous knife making videos, I use hacksaws to cut out the rough profile. This angle grinder was very cheap. It was only about $15 and the wheels are only a couple dollars. Now if you don't have an angle grinder and you don't want to buy one, you can just use files to get the rough shape. It'll just take a little longer. So I know this is a knife making video using cheap and common tools, but I was kind of forced to use the drill press for this. My cordless drill broke and the batteries weren't holding the charge anymore. But the drill press could easily be replaced for a cheap drill. Now I'm using a countersink to get rid of the burr and to make the holes look a little nicer. This is my file jig. It puts in nice and clean bevels. Now I could have used a belt grinder, but the file jig is more reliable and sometimes it's even easier to use. And since this knife is very small, I wouldn't be saving much time if I were to use the belt grinder. I'm putting the template up against the knife and I'm using it as a guide so that I could file the jimping in on the spine. Knocking off the corner so that I can make it more comfortable when holding it. Now here's my very safe and secure heat treating oven. I'm so happy I shut it off because, as I said before, it's very safe and the torch fell right there. Here I'm cleaning off the scale so that I can see the tempering colors after the oven. I really wish I put more time and effort into the finish at this step because I really like that golden color that it came out with. But since there's a lot of scratches, I'm just going to clean up the knife and I'm going to force a patina. So I'm using this knife sharpener just to get the correct edge geometry. Here's the leather strap that I made in a previous video. Looking at the edge, you can see that I purposely didn't sharpen closest to your fingers. And I did this just in case your finger slips, you're not cutting yourself. So here's the knife after the forced patina. Now you can see it's a little splotchy and discolored in certain areas, and I think this is due to the heat treatment. Since I don't have a very expensive heat treating oven, I can't get the knife all to the same temperature and quench it all at the same time. So I made the sheath for the knife, and now it's done. It works very well as a neck knife, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.